My name is Kristen Lynch, and I'm the Pacific Region Director for Food and Water Watch. And I'm joined here today with other concerned citizens throughout the state and this nation to call attention to fracking taking place in California and the threats that this poses to our water, air, land, and property. While fracking has long been used in California to stimulate oil production, this new generation of fracking, which drills deeper and longer, requires enormous amounts of water, uses known toxic and carcinogenic chemicals, and creates much more toxic wastewater, and increases the disposal problems, is largely an uncontrolled public health experiment. Fracking throughout the country has caused surface and groundwater contamination, air pollution, and is ultimately contributing to global climate change. In addition to the public health and environmental issues, fracking is causing economic woes for communities throughout this nation, leaving plummeting property values in its wake. A homeowner in Pennsylvania was recently denied a mortgage based on fracking underway on his neighbor's property, and Quicken Loans has cited plummeting values near fracking sites as consideration in its loan-making decisions. It is based upon these facts that we are here today, standing with the nearly 50,000 Californians that signed the Food and Water Watch and Credo fracking ban petitions, to call upon Governor Brown and our elected officials to do what other states, including Vermont, New York, and New Jersey, have already done, and ban fracking. Joining us today to speak to the growing national movement to ban fracking, a movement he helped facilitate through his critically acclaimed and Emmy Award-winning documentary film, Gasland, is Oscar-nominated director Josh Fox.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here for the ribbon-cutting ceremony of the workover rig right behind you. It's right behind us. Joking, of course. So, to me, this is, when I was driving around here earlier today with Chris Payne, director of Who Killed the Electric Car, in one of his several electric cars, it struck me that every time I've come to LA, I've come through this gas and oil field, and it struck me as a relic. It struck me as like the La Brea tar pits or something from ancient history that has been here for 100 years. And to learn now that this is being worked over again, and the possibility of fracking these hills, to me it seems like we're going in completely the wrong direction. These are dinosaurs, both literally and figuratively, right? Fossil fuels. And we're in a moment where every trend in the world is to move away from fossil fuels, to move towards renewable energy, to move towards solar power and wind power, and hydropower, and geothermal. And to be taking steps backwards in the heart of Los Angeles. I wish I could say that this was unfamiliar and strange to me. As an emissary from New York, from Pennsylvania, where the proposal initially was to frack in the New York City watershed, to frack in the upper Delaware River Basin, throughout 3/4 of Pennsylvania, half of New York, half of Ohio, all of West Virginia, and as you know, throughout 34 states. There's just a couple of things. So when you think of this as complete insanity, it is. But that doesn't make it not the norm. And it doesn't make it something that you can sit back and think that other people are going to handle. You have to handle this yourself, and you have to start to grow something here. A movement against this. There's a couple things that I want to point out to me that strike me as really severe threats and really almost absurd and surreal. We're here over what I believe is the Inglewood fault line.
Newport Inglewood.
Newport Inglewood fault.
Right?
Right.
Now, earlier this year, I toured Central Arkansas with Nightline, and you can look it up on the Nightline website, to a town, a series of towns that had suffered 1,000 earthquakes due to the injection wells and to the fracking that was happening in Central Arkansas. 1,000 earthquakes in a year. And they ranged from the very, very small to a 4.7, which cracked the walls of the school. And they showed that those earthquakes were, in fact, a result of the injection well process, and that you are stressing and pressure pulsing the formation and increasing cracks and faults. That's what fracking is. It's fracturing the underground strata. The very first fracked well in England caused seismic activity, and they shut it down immediately. You have reports from the USGS and from, I believe, EPA that show that injection wells and fracking contribute to seismic activity. On New Year's Day, or I think it was New Year's Eve, in Youngstown, Ohio, the fracking and the injection wells there were causing earthquakes. This is insane, to be thinking of fracking wells in the middle of Los Angeles. In a way, I can't think of a better PR strategy for the anti-fracking movement to start fracking in the fault lines in Los Angeles. But this is an absurdity of the kind that is all too normal and too regular in back east, where you feel like the audacity, the bullying, the level of impunity that these companies operate under can be rather astounding. But I think you'll find the reason why is because you've got 100 years of pushing people around, all around the world. Which brings me to the second thing that I want to talk about, the Monterey Shale, which encompasses a huge area throughout California. They're talking about fracking for crude oil all throughout Central California. This is an issue, and I'm sure this is not the last press conference that I'll do in California, that is coming to California and to Los Angeles in a major way. And I think that it's extremely important. I'm here on a fact-finding mission. I'm here to film a bit for Gasland 2 to find out what's going on here. So I'm trying to speak as clearly as I can to the specific situation here. But the best thing you can do is arm yourself with the facts. Fracking causes water contamination. It causes massive air pollution. If you were to burn all of the possible frack gas that's out there, you would be in a disastrous situation in terms of climate change. Bill McKibben, who I'm speaking with later tonight at UCLA, has been quoted in the New York Review of Books saying 650 parts per million CO2 in the atmosphere if they just burn all the shale gas. That says nothing of the leaking, nothing of the water contamination, nothing of the other health-related issues on the ground. We cannot move towards exploration of more fossil fuels from every single possible standpoint. From community environmental justice issues, people being poisoned in their own communities, to global issues of climate change. It's just the wrong way to go. So I'm very proud to be here today to send a message to Governor Brown that says, absolutely not. You cannot open up California to this type of oil and gas exploration. And certainly not in the center of the most populous city in California can you be experimenting with people's lives and courting what we know scientifically is a certainty, that seismic activity is caused by and increased by this type of drilling and fracking. So I'm with you. I hope we can create a communication between East and West throughout the whole country, and that this can make a really loud noise. And I hope to be back here to premiere Gasland 2. Maybe we can set up a screen right over here. And do a big Hollywood movie premiere or something. And have a good time exposing this campaign to drill and frack throughout the world. Because we're on the right side of history here. We know this has to change. And these companies are dying. They're like dying dinosaurs, and they're thrashing around, and what worries me is that they're going to take out more and more and more places through those death throes of the fossil fuel industry. We know we can drive electric cars. We know we can get our power from other sources. And we know this is the wrong direction to go in. So hopefully we'll put a screen up here and we'll fill this spot and make continue to make a stand against this. So I want to thank you for having me today, and you have my support.
going on. Thanks a lot.
Well, thank you, Josh, and we would gladly welcome you back anytime as we do grow this movement in California and join with activists throughout the country to stop fracking and get us on a sustainable and environmentally sound energy policy.